Get that up. Yes, indeed. What's going on? Let's get it started. All right, I want to quickly see if I can add something to this. Yeah, that actually looks fine. Can I add a filter? Filter, yes. Let's see how that noise suppression works. I don't know. We can give it a try. I'll leave it on for now. Y'all gonna have to let me know how that sounds. So let me adjust a couple of things here. Wow. That is really loud coming into the headphones. You're probably hearing that too. Let me mute that. This laptop is slow. Super slow. Okay, that's already good. Okay, never mind. That's already good. It's already doing what it's supposed to do. Hit the do not disturb right there. All right. Sorry about that, folks. And I gotta turn something else off. Louis Aranda, what's going on? DJ Mambo in the building. Mario, what's good? Mario Nascimento, that is. DJ Equinoccio, probably mispronouncing it. I'm doing my best though. Gus Gomez, what's good? What's going on? Marciano, what up, man? Fifi, what up? And we got the real Eric Coleman, DJ Eco. And we got DJ 10, aka Boa Ninjas, Eddie Walker in the building, and DJ Kylo in the building. Salute to all of you coming in right now. DJ 101, indeed. Mac Joseph, what's good? TB Rizil, Queen Caesar, Jake Cates, salute. Welcome to STK Live, yo. Darnell, what's going on? I'm going to get into your questions in a sec. As you can see, I'm not in the studio right now, streaming from home. And that's how I have to do it today. What we talking about tonight? Well, we're talking DJing, as always. That's what STK Live, Share the Knowledge Live is all about. Anything DJ related, first off. And who's that? Oh, blue letters always works so horrible on this screen. Mixed Mistress, what's going on? Salute to you. So let's get into all of it, bro. OBS is working. So I'm not in the studio. I'm at home right now. It's the holiday season over here, like summer vacation. Got the kids at home all day, and we're actually doing some work around the house as well. And I'm working on a couple different projects, and that kind of kept me from the studio a little more than I wish it would. But I'm giving a couple of those things priority right now. But I did want to get the Q&A out. On Monday, I was going to do a crates session using a Denon setup, two SC5000s and the Denon X1800. That did not work out the way I wanted it to. I hadn't used the Denon set in a long time. So first off, I went through the entire process. I updated all the firmware, made sure everything was up to date, get all the right cables out to connect all of this stuff. And during the process, I had one of the players on my desk for a while. The other ones I just connected quickly and just updated. So when I went to actually set up the entire setup, I placed the other player and touched the jog wheel, and it was stuck. Like it would not move. It's like jammed. I remember that at a certain point there was a little accident in the, I don't even want to call it storage facility because that's not what it is. But I got a couple of pieces that were stored and something fell on some equipment. At the time, I didn't realize what happened. Everything looked okay. What I think happened is that something actually just fell right on top of that jog wheel and Now it's stuck in there. I thought I could open the player up and kind of get it out again. I could not get that to work. I think I have to probably take it all the way apart. I didn't really feel comfortable doing that. I'm not a technician. So I need to get that looked at. Now, at the same time, I did have an SE5000M. So my backup plan was to do a set with like one SE5000, one SE5000M. Not the way I wanted to do it because that's like a totally different player. But I was like, okay, let me do it that way. At that time, it was already starting to get pretty late. And not a real excuse, but to me, it did fall in line with the rest of the day. I did have kind of a sore arm. Got my second shot, and that was like bothering just a little bit. So with all that combined, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to stress myself out. I'm going to skip that stream. The only thing I didn't do is communicate that at the end. That's what I should have done. Now, next week, I'll be back on Monday, not with the Denon set. That'll have to wait because next week is last Monday of the month. So that's going to be an all vinyl edition. So what I'm going to do is the edition after that, the Beat Source edition. I'm going to do that using the Denon set because they are fully updated now. And I do have the option to use Beat Source Link as a source directly from those players, which is super cool. They have Wi-Fi in them. So in 2 weeks, I'll be using the Denon set. And next week is an all vinyl set. That's that. That's the little update for what happened on Monday. And I'm going to basically get OBS out of the picture. There's a couple of things I probably need to open up. Let me quickly see. Because I know Twitter is not up yet. Is LinkedIn working? Yes, LinkedIn is live. Facebook is live. YouTube is live. Twitch is live. Mixcloud. I don't have Mixcloud live. Let me just do that. Just to get it in there as well. Oh, sorry, it's already going. Super Fro Music, salute to you. I see you're already here. Because I know Twitter is not up yet. Is LinkedIn working? Yes, LinkedIn is live. Much love to y'all. YouTube is live. Okay, so no, we're live. We're good to go there as well. Mixcloud. Twitter is the only one I have. I don't have Mixcloud. Normally, I honestly let me just do that. Twitter viewers just to get it in there as well. But I still set it up. Oh, sorry, it's already going. Just the same. Super Fro Music, salute to you. I see you're already here. Because I know Twitter is not up yet. Is LinkedIn working? Yes, LinkedIn is live. Much love to y'all. YouTube is live. Okay, so no, we're live. We're good to go there as well. Mixcloud. Twitter is the only one I have. I don't have Mixcloud. Normally, let me just do that. Twitter view just to get it in there as well. But I still set it up. Oh, sorry, it's already going. Just the same. Super Fro Music, salute to you. I see you're already here. Because I know Twitter is not up yet. Twitter working? LinkedIn is live. Much love to y'all. YouTube is live. Okay, so no, we're live. We're good to go there as well. Mixcloud is the only one I have. I don't have Mixcloud. Normally, let me just do that. Twitter view just to get it in there as well. But I still set it up. Oh, sorry, it's already going. Just the same. Super Fro Music, salute to you. I see you're already here. Because I know Twitter is not up yet. Twitter working? Okay, so no, we're live. We're good to go there as well. Mixcloud is live. Let me just do that. Twitter view. Just no, we're live. We're good to go. Still set it up. Oh, sorry, it's already going. Just the same. Super Fro Music, salute to you. I set it myself up. Twitter talking about quickest right now. Okay, so no, we're live. We're good to go there as well. Mixcloud fix the echo. Let me just do that. Just no, we're live. We're good to go. Still set it up. Oh, sorry, it's already going. Just the same. Super Fro Music, because you now I set it myself up. Talking about quickest right now. Okay, so no, we're live. We're good to go there. Mixcloud fix the echo. Let me just do that. So OBS decided to also just add desktop audio when I already had my mic. My apologies. That's I'm on a small screen right here. So when I was online, I could not see OBS. So now we're hearing a bunch of TLM. So, okay, my apologies for that. I could not see that. Mixmaster G in the building. Jasmine Perez in the building. Fifi, I already saw you. Fly DJ Eli. Juris Mike, what's going on? Dan is in the building. Kenny Spears in the building. Darnell Mulberry. What's good? JB, I think I saw you already. So y'all had the crazy echo going. I'm glad I missed that. I didn't hear any of that. DJ Six in the building as well. So you should be hearing good all year now, right? I think I got all the shout outs in. So let me go to the last comment. Y'all good again? Yeah, y'all good again. So there you go. That little audio trip was my gift to y'all, even though I didn't hear it. So I'm going to scroll back to the beginning right now. One more time for all my people on Twitter, on Mixcloud, on Facebook, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, and on Twitch. Welcome to STK Live, Share the Knowledge Live, not broadcasting from the studio, broadcasting from home, doing a quick Q&A edition. I don't have that much time. Not going to run through the same story as the beginning anymore, but let's get it in. So I saw What's My Take on the Rain 1, and it's about time I go to an audio store and try it out. The stores are open again, so I really don't have an excuse. So just from seeing what I've seen, I think it's a dope controller with motorized platters, but I have not used it myself. I'll actually be at an audio store tomorrow or Friday. They should have a Rain 1 there. If there's one there, I'm gonna get my first little test run in. But I mean, it looks to be a great controller, and I've heard a lot of great stories as well. When you come to California, I have no idea. I mean, of course, in the last year and a half, traveling wasn't really a thing anyway. Last time in the U.S. was a couple years ago. Was in Orlando, and I do definitely want to come back to California. I mean, I've been in L.A., so I will be back. I have no idea when, but I will definitely be back. Martin Kelly, I don't know if I shouted you out yet, but just in case, I'll do it again. All right. How can I make an awesome funk podcast on Saturday? A funk podcast? So are you talking about just a musical live stream, or are you talking about a podcast talking about funk? Because if I see podcast, I'm not thinking about like mixing and DJing. So let me know, Eddie, what you mean when you say that. Wilson asked about the Denon equipment. So we already talked about that. And what else was there? From the state of New Jersey, do you like doing drops over effects, doing mixes? Doing drops over effects, doing mixes, like doing drops, like my own drops over my mixes. I mean, I do, if I make a mix, I do have like shout outs from artists that I sometimes use in mixes and play over the music, if that's what you're talking about. And Mac Joseph, I actually have Isotopes full suite. I had the production suite, the newest one, and I recently got like a great deal to upgrade to the everything bundle. So for like $199, I could upgrade and get all of the other stuff in there as well. So yes, I have Isotope. I like what I see from Isotope. So I'm gonna have a lot of fun in the coming months trying to learn how to use all that stuff. Did I miss a question? I think I missed a question here somewhere. I saw something that I'm not seeing now. Okay, here. Learning producing will help me as a rapper in communicating musically. I mean, to a certain degree. I mean, I've been in a lot of studio sessions, and sometimes you're dealing with artists that, like in the case of rappers, are rappers that just know how to write verses and rap over beats, but they have no idea of how the production side works. They have no idea how a beat is made. They have no idea what the engineer is doing. They know nothing about mixing. Now, is that a terrible con? Not really. I mean, I think it will help. As an artist, it can help if you know something about not just production, but also engineering, because it does allow you to communicate better with the engineer or the producer. So if you're in the booth and you hear that something needs to be different sonically, and it's not just like, hey, turn my headphones up, but if you need to hear, if you want to have a little bit more high frequency in your vocal, in your headphones, because it doesn't sound right to you, you should be able to communicate that. It's easier if you know what you want, that you can communicate that, because that way the engineer or producer is going to understand you faster. So it does take away some of the possible frustration, because if you have two people that don't truly understand each other, it might take longer to get to where you want to get. So yeah, I would say it's a good thing to have some sort of basic understanding of production and engineering. It will help you out. I think so. I mean, now that I think about it, I remember the first time we had rehearsal sessions for a tour when we were going to go on tour with a full band. So we were used to doing like tape performances. So you either have like a CD or an MD with music, you play it, or just like instrumentals on vinyl, you play it, rap over it, that's it. Now we were doing shows with a full band, and in the rehearsal space that we were in, sometimes the musicians would ask questions like, "Oh wait, so I'm supposed to play that for four more measures? Measure being the same thing as a bar." When you first hear that and you're not used to all of the musical jargon, you're like, yeah, I rap two more lines. You're like, you might get a little bit confused at first because musicians have a different way of communicating, of course. So once you understand, like, okay, you know that your bar is the same thing as their measure, it makes it a lot easier to communicate. Like, hey, we play that for two more measures and then, or like four counts, and then we make the switch. So it's going to make it a lot easier to communicate with musicians as well. So having a general knowledge can truly help you out. Indeed. And Mixed Mistress, I'm glad you got to catch it live for the first time as well. It's not my normal time. Normally I start like an hour and a half earlier and we go on for hours. Today's going to be a shorter session. Normally I'm also in the studio. This is not the studio, but hey, I have an old laptop here. I have this pretty little USB mic, and these headphones belong to one of my kids. I don't even know why they were here. One of them put them here, and it's perfect for me because that allows me to hear myself, which makes it much more comfortable to talk through a microphone. And Kenny Spears, everything good over here? So good affordable headphone set under 75. Ooh, I'm not sure. Because I'm not familiar with the prices of some of the headphones that I've seen. So I'm not sure. So in the chat, if anyone has a good tip for like affordable, are we talking DJ headphones, by the way? I assume we're talking about DJ headphones, right? So if anyone has a tip for some good DJ headphones under 75, because for me, I've used Pioneer's HDJ 2000 Mark II for a bunch of years. Before that, the Sennheiser HD25, and I'm currently using the III headphones. I have them in the studio. I don't have them here. I don't think any of those are under 75. So Mac Joseph, I appreciate that super chat, and I'll give you a shout. By the way, I'll look you up on YouTube. Send you a message. Because like I said, I believe I have everything, and yeah, I'll double check. So thank you anyway. So 101, you can just send me, if you want, you can send me an email, stk@djtlm.com. That's probably the easiest way. You can also send me a DM on Instagram. I check that a lot. But especially if you have a longer story, email, I think, is the best way to go. So stk@djtlm.com. DJ Eli, all right, I appreciate that. I mean, I'm definitely still on that pandemic weight. So I definitely gained quite a few in the last year and a half. But at the moment, I'm mostly working on strength, and I'm going to add like mobility to that, and then I'll start to incorporate a little more cardio and really dial in on the nutrition. But right now, I did not feel the strength that I want to feel, and I don't like that. If you feel like weak, it starts to you start to kind of send out that vibe as well. So I'm happy. I'm definitely getting some strength back, and loving it that I'm finally able to be back in the gym. They opened up like I think May 18th, and I've been back there ever since. Gus B, what's good? Old school DJ. Last used the 1200s and a mixer. What deck or equipment would you recommend to get back into DJing for personal use? Well, I mean, if you're talking about turntables, you have a ton of options. I mean, since the days of way back when we were all using the SLs, there's a lot of brands that definitely released really dope turntables. And I mean, Technics came out with a new SL, but that's stupid expensive. So I would not advise anyone to get that one. But there's a lot of great ones. Now it depends. Do you actually want to do that? So do you still have like your vinyl collection, and do you just want to get, or are you looking to get into like the more modern equipment? Do you have music on a computer now? Because then you can also look at a laptop. But if you're used to turntables, I think the best, I mean, my favorite option is to use turntables in DVS mode, digital vinyl system. So turntables to control your software. And that can work with anything like Serato or Rekordbox or Tractor, you name it. So you have a lot of options there. So let me know that first. Do you want to stick to turntables, or like someone just mentioned, like a Rain 1, which is a controller but with motorized platters? So that still gives you like a turntable feel, but it's a lot smaller, and it should be a great controller. All right, let's see who we have here. Hey, Vinyl Touch, was good? What's good? What's good? Salute to you. And this is that Nio Miser? That's a long name right there, Thomas. But salute to you. All right, then we have an organization question from Vinyl Touch. When you do all vinyl sets, how do you organize your vinyl to help your song selections? I don't. I should, but I haven't. So up until now, I really just grabbed like I went into a section in the wall, and like the wall is alphabetically sorted, and I know that R&B is the bottom row. The rest is basically hip hop, and then the top rows have some other stuff in there. And I basically went into a couple of those like compartments and just grabbed a bunch out. So that's how I start. And during the stream, a lot of times I'll walk over to the wall and just take a different section because I know it's going to be a different letter and just grab something. So the organization has been horrible. It's been like no organization at all. Now, in an ideal world for prep, and I don't know if I'm going to have the time to do that for Monday's show, but in an ideal world, I would actually go through that wall, look for all the songs that I want to play, and then place that in some crates alphabetically so I can find it. Because I mean, I don't have BPM on the sleeve, so I won't have the option to sort by BPM. So it's going to be sorted alphabetically. So at least I know where to find a certain artist. I think that's it. Like normally that's how I would do it. No, when I used to play vinyl all the time, I didn't even do that, to be honest. I would go through my entire collection, grab the stuff that I would most likely want to play, and put it in a crate. But I remember like it was not organized in my crates at all. I had 3-4 crates, and I used to be just going through those crates like a madman. And happy Wednesday to you, by the way, DJ Six. Yes. And Mixmaster G, of course, in the building, as always. Salute to you. And so certified bangers, that's just on hold. I just decided to step back, scale it back when it came to the live streams, and just do crates and the Share the Knowledge live streams. So what I might do, and maybe that's a good option, is to take one of the crates every month and basically make that a crates certified bangers edition, and just go all out with bangers for that edition. So that is an option for now, because I don't plan to do an extra streaming date anytime soon, because I just have so much stuff lined up that I have to catch up on first. And a good day to Mo Berry, of course. HZ, what's going on? So then we got all of the the echo mentions. So we're gonna skip past all of that. And Evan Hill, my pleasure. Yes, my pleasure indeed. Black Fist, what's good? South Bronx in the building. Salute to you. And Kenny Spears, that was crazy indeed. Mo Berry says, I just can't get my audio right on Twitch yet. You mean during your live streams? How are you connected again? I mean, I saw a glimpse of one live stream. I saw the DJ set. I just don't remember how you had it set up. So Jay Cates, if I can get my hands on the Rain one, I would do an overview, but I just don't have one. But at least if I go to an audio store this week, I'll have some more personal experience to share about it. Hey, DJ Ochia, I see you. Salute. Yep. I've heard good stories too, indeed. All right, DJ Cade. I've been trying, and if you caught now, I guess you missed it. So last week I did a Crates All Vinyl Edition, and I used the Gico replacement needles, but not just the replacement stylus, but also cartridge. So Gico it's a Japanese brand. They make replacement styli. What I always forget, what's the plural for stylus? Styli? All right. Anyway, needles. Let's just stay with that. They make replacement needles for a lot of different needles from different brands. They already had the stylus for the Shure M44-7, and they recently sent me their stylus and cartridge. It's called the J44A7, I believe. They have a couple of different ones. They had the first one that was just the stylus, but now the one they have is called J44A7 Improved Club, and they had Improved DJ. I had the Improved DJ that's made more for scratching turntablism and DJing, and I did my entire vinyl set last Monday with those beasts. Absolutely, they reminded me so much of my Shure 44-7, so that was a great experience for me. I know there's a couple of other brands that also have replacements. Some I heard like not the greatest stories. Another one seemed to be pretty good as well. I haven't tried those, but the Gico one, you can go to twitter.com/DJTLM and you can see my stream from last week. And I used them brand new out the box. I played with them for like an hour before I went live, and I put those puppies to the test. Real steady, love the feel. So I could definitely recommend those. I'm doing a full video on them soon anyway. Let's see. Uptown asks, are there timecode CDs available for the Rekordbox interface or just vinyl? I thought there were CDs as well. I remember that I saw something like that. I only have vinyl for Rekordbox, but I believe that there were CDs as well. But do you need CDs? Because if you're using CD players, which CD players are you using? Because if you're using something like a CDJ, you could also just take the control sound on a USB, on a flash drive, and use that with the CDJs. So let me know. And if you're using CDJs, you could also just do HID mode. Let's see. What else? What's going on? Salute to you. So Fifi, you want a full mix with funk music? I mean, I could. Let me see, like on Monday for my vinyl edition, maybe I can just at least add like some of the funk. I mean, I don't have like a big funk collection on vinyl, but I have some stuff. Let me see if I can add it and play some on Monday. Saida, what's going on? Salute to you. Or Saida says Jamel. Jamel, salute. And then we got DJ NLH in the building. Big up, big up. And J. Cates wants to know, can you tell us the process of how you do cue points when you mix live? Now, if you see my live streams, you know that a lot of times I'm setting my cue points on the fly. A lot of times I use material that isn't prepared yet. Not the way I prefer to play. I'd rather have everything prepared, but a lot of times I just don't have the time to do that. My process is pretty simple. I basically use cue points just to be able to quickly go to a certain point. And of course, that's what cue points are for. But I know some DJs like to also use cue points to set like mix in and out points. And it can be cool for that. So you can tell like, hey, that cue point is coming up. That's where I need to mix my new track in. For me, it's really simple. I mostly have a cue point at the beginning of the track, so I can always quickly go back to the beginning. And a lot of times I'll have a cue point where a verse begins, or in some cases like a special sentence, but a lot of times where a verse begins so I can backspin with that. So I can do that on the fly. I load a new track, go to the beginning, find that first beat, set a cue point. All right, I'll beat match. When I hear that I got to the point where the verse starts, I'll quickly bring it back. Either set a cue point on the 1 or take the snare on the 4, whatever feels like a good point to use for backspinning. And then I'm good to go. Now, if I have more time to prepare, like I said, I might have a cue point later on in the track if there's like a dope break in the track that I might want to go to. But I'm pretty basic with cue points. Mike for Life wants to know my thoughts on the Rain 12 Mark II with the S11 mixer. I only have a Rain 12 Mark I, so I haven't used the Mark II. I've played a lot with the S11. Really like that mixer. I mean, I could see that work as a great setup for sure. I mean, the Rain 12 is dope. Rain 12 Mark II should be just as dope. So I think that could be a great setup. Let's see. Between Newmark controllers and Pioneer DJ controllers, what did I miss? Oh. So wait, what is the question? Because all you said was between Newmark controllers and Pioneer DJ controller. But what is the exact question? Jam Master D was good. DJ Nuka, salute to you. Big V in the building, good day to you. And I'm running behind again, I can tell. Like I'm 17 minutes behind. I'm trying to catch up, y'all. Let me clarify. Effects like echo out to go into the next track. That's from Darnell. Ooh, Darnell, that first one was a while back. Which question did you have again? Was that about the drop in the mix or something like that? I'm gonna quickly scroll up, see if I can find it. Hold up, let me see. Where was Darnell's question? Okay, like doing drop. Oh, drops over effects. Okay, got you. I'm pretty simple when it comes to using effects. Like I'm pretty simple. I use echo from time to time. I like to use the high pass, low pass filter. I don't use a lot of effects when I'm like doing transitions. Now, I might do an echo out. Like I do the echo when I'm at the end of my transition. A lot of times to do scratches with the outgoing track. So my transition is in full motion, and when the transition is about to end, so meaning the new track is about to get into the verse, or the 8 bars of the hook are about to be done, I'll activate the echo on the outgoing track and either scratch with that or just let that echo out while the new verse on the new track begins. Besides that, I don't use a lot of effects actually. Let's see. Or do you use a drop to transition to the next track? Or prefer using echo out effects to go into the next track? So it depends. Like sometimes it just feels better to just like drop the track on the 1 instead of doing like a total mix. If the track has like a dope intro, I don't want to mix that intro in. I want to actually just let it go from the start. So it really depends on the tracks. Some tracks I just feel shouldn't be mixed in, should just be dropped in. Sometimes it feels cool to use like an effect, like an echo out and get into a next track. But I don't have anything prepared. So everything happens while I'm doing it. And sometimes I don't even know why I chose to do it. Mix Mistress, I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. YouTube stuff is coming, by the way. Okay, so Jay Cates says Behringer. Behringer it is, I think. Jam Master D says Sony. And I believe those are tips for headphones under 75, but I don't see model numbers. Those are just like brands. So hit us up with like actual model numbers. Uh-huh. And 6, the V Moda headphones are headphones that I do want to try because I've heard a lot of good things about those as well. So I started now with III. I heard great stories, so I reached out and I got to try a pair, and I will be doing a full review on those. And I really I like the concept of the III being totally modular, so you can put together your own headphones, choose your own band, what type of materials you want to use, you name it. And now they even added, I saw like new studio modules where you can switch and you can use it as a DJ headphone, but then you can also switch it and turn it into like some studio reference monitor headphones. So I like the concept. And yeah, like I said, I heard good stories about V Moda. I never tried them before. So hopefully one day I'll get to test those as well. Jay the Realist, yes, I haven't seen you in a while. And the plug, the DJ plug was good. Black owned DJ shop out of Tampa, Florida. Salute to you. I haven't been to Tampa yet. I've been to Orlando, but there's like a ton of places in the U.S. that I still want to visit one day. All right, and DJ Nuka has the Audio Technica 120s. Chris on the mixes here. Greetings to you. Tony Mitchell wants to know, where can you find a lot of old school music? Depends on what format you're looking for. So if you're looking for old school music on vinyl, then you got to go to vinyl stores and check their secondhand like crates. If you're looking for CDs, you got to probably look for secondhand stores as well. If you're looking for like digital versions, you can buy it from like a digital store, like an iTunes or like a Beat Source. And DJ pool wise, I mean, there's a couple of DJ pools that have some old school music, but I've talked about this before. Like in most cases, if a DJ pool is doing everything legit, they shouldn't have too much old school music, because the DJ pool is there to promote like new music and have the promos, not like old catalog. If you want to have the most amount of old school music to play in your DJ software, then Beat Source with Beat Source Link is the way to go, because they will have the largest collection. So you do have a couple of options there. And Jay the Realist owns a pair of PLX 1000s, and they are beasts. I concur. Heavy as hell. Yes, indeed. Same level as the Technics. Yeah, man. That's what I mean. Like, you have a ton of them. Like the PLX 1000s, the Denon VL12s, the Reloop RP 7000 Mark II, RP 8000. I still have my Vestax PDX 3000 and 2000, but the 3000. So, and there's more. Reaper 101, salute to you. And Flawless Chicago in the building. I have an awesome DJ resume. Played at many bars, clubs, and festivals here in Chicago, but I can't find gigs anywhere nowadays. How do you find a good DJ residency? I mean, I think residencies are probably the hardest thing to find, because most places will have their resident DJs, and it's not just like those resident DJs are going to give up their spots, or that like bar or club owners are suddenly going to make way and replace their resident DJs. But overall, like, especially now things are opening up again. I don't know. I think it's a little bit of a chaotic time. A lot of clubs now want to organize a ton of events. Everyone's getting married. Like, there's a lot going on. But I do think most organizations will first off fall back on the DJs that they already know. So my question is, like, if you've played in so many bars and clubs and festivals, so you have that DJ, that awesome DJ resume, like you just described it, that should also mean that you should have a lot of connections. So have you reached out to all of those connections? So all of the organizations, promoters, venues that you used to play at? Because if you were having all of these gigs, why did they stop booking you? Did they have like management changes? So are there all new people everywhere? Did they change musical style so that your style is not really wanted anymore? How did that happen? because if you have all these gigs going on, a lot of times you are also there's momentum. If you have a lot of gigs going on, then your name is all over the place. People are seeing you, hearing you, which most of the times, if things go well, should lead to like a lot of other bookings as well. Damn. Need to refill. So yeah, that's kind of an interesting situation. But then again, I think the first thing you need to do now is like really network and reconnect with all of your connections. Let's see. Let's see. Just number the sleeves and enter the vinyl in an Excel spreadsheet together with BPM. Easiest way to do it. I used to have an app for that, but that was before Mac OS 10. That's about like organizing vinyl. Number the sleeves. I mean, yeah, I guess that could work. Like I've seen a lot of people like organize their vinyl in different ways. Same way that all of the digital DJs have their own way of constructing like their folder structure. That's going to be different for a lot of DJs as well. So like I said, I do alphabetically. I have it alphabetically. The one thing I do want to change again, I used to have my albums in 12 inches separate. And now it's just one big, not mess. I mean, it's alphabetically, but it's a 12-inch, 12-inch album, 12-inch album, 12-inch, 12-inch. I think I'd rather have that separated again. Have like my albums and my 12s. Because a lot of times when I'm doing like gigs and live streams, I'm more in the 12 inches than I am into the albums. And it will make stuff a little bit easier to find. I don't know if I need to have, I don't think I would sort my vinyl by BPM, but I do think having it on the sleeve is a good thing when you have it in the crate. So if I have like a crate or a couple of crates to play with, if I can then look and see what the BPM is, just to know if I'm in the right range, it's cool. Like now the last stream that I did with vinyl, I did it the old fashioned way because I don't have the BPM on the sleeves. And I could tell I was getting my feel back for actually like already feeling, knowing which track would work. Because a lot of times I would grab a track and only when you start to cue the vinyl, you're going to hear if you're in the right ballpark when it comes to the BPM. And a lot of times I only had to adjust like 1 or 2%. So that was like pretty good. But having the BPM on the sleeve, of course, makes it a little bit easier. Misal Skav, what's going on Facebook? Salute to you. Let me quickly go back to Mixcloud because I'm neglecting my people over here. Okay, got you. Y'all still there. And anything happening on LinkedIn right now? No, we good. We good. Let me get back to my chat. There we go. Oral Chino Flow was good. And let's see. On my end, the connection is frozen. I don't hear anything. That's a little while ago. And that was on Twitch. Okay, so I see what happens if I oh no, I'm good on Twitch here. And otherwise you could refresh, that should work as well. Let me see. How's Twitch looking now? Just refreshing the page just in case. I do admit, it is saying unstable. Poor network connection detected. That could just be my laptop, even though I'm on a wired connection with the laptop. So, yeah, I see the same thing you're seeing. So I don't know if that's the same thing for the rest of y'all. Gio, what's good? Big up to you. And Reaper 101 says I use turntables, but I use phase, so not real vinyl. Do you have to scratch if you use turntables to consider an actual DJ? No. You don't have to do any of those things to be considered an actual DJ. Like I would say, know your music, your songs. So if you know your music, if you have the right song selection for the crowd that you're playing for, and you at least hopefully master the techniques, as in like knowing how to mix tracks, work your EQ, you're DJing. Like, you don't have to use turntables to be considered an actual DJ. You don't need to scratch to be considered an actual DJ. Scratching, in my opinion, is just a plus. It's an extra. It's nice to add to your skill set. But yeah, that's my feeling. Squad in the building, salute to you. Good to see you. Let's go. All right, so your name is DJ Kingmon. Oral, I see you. All right, that's great to hear. I appreciate that. And yeah, let's give Mixmaster G some more props. He built an app using a database manager named Foxbase, was DBase compatible. I think there's a screen cut on his Facebook page, built it in 1990. And Vinyl Touch says, you were ahead of your time. Yeah, I think Mixmaster G is like that. Indeed. So that's dope. Bushnick Selector, good to see you. What are places you've played where the music came before the selling of alcohol? Y'all think there's anything, any hope? It's a good question. I mean, for me, I remember like I've been DJing for quite a couple of years. And in those years, I never really gave a lot of thought to the bar until I like spoke to certain DJs who were telling me like that they had to make sure that people would also go to the bar, so they would adjust their music to not always have people on the dance floor, also have them going to the bar, you name it. I know it's different in different places. It also depends in what type of venues you're playing. So I would not equate it to like the music coming before the selling of alcohol, but I would say I've been in places where the promoter or actually the owner of the venue at first was really into like, hey, I want to have like really dope DJs that are really into the music. It's all about the music. All of that commercial stuff I see going on, blah, blah, blah. And I don't totally agree with that whole mindset, but I understood like he just wanted to have like real DJs playing like original, their own style of music, not just the hits, you name it. But like after the first couple of nights when the venue wasn't packed, all of a sudden that changed, and all of a sudden I was like, maybe I should book some of those other DJs, the quote unquote like popular DJs that play at all the popular parties. So it's easy to talk about what you want and how it's all about this or that, but if you own a venue, at the end of the day, you're going to be looking at your bank account. You're going to be looking at like, hey, is the money coming in? Because they got to pay rent for that venue. They got to pay their personnel, you name it. So it's going to be hard for an owner to just say, hey, it's all about the music and I don't care about how much we're selling. Unless you have someone with very deep pockets who's willing to let you go through a period. Because even if you're playing like a different style and it's all about the music, there might be a possibility that you can, at a certain point, reach the right crowd and still fill it up. But you're going to need someone with deep pockets that will give you the time to really build that. And a lot of times owners don't work that way. It's not like they're going to say, hey, we're going to start this new event. And we know this might take like, not like 2 weeks, but this might take 6 months before it starts to catch on. If you have a couple of editions where there's not enough people, a lot of times they'll resort back to saying like, this is not working, because they're not looking at it the same way you are. So I don't know. I understand what you're talking about. I don't know if there's any hope for that. Fawn Solo says, any tips for converting vinyl to digital? No, I don't have like special tips. I mean, some people like to use those USB turntables. So you just play the vinyl and it connects straight to your computer, and you can record it into some recording software. Like anytime I had to convert vinyl to digital, I would just connect my mixer to the audio interface and then open whatever I was using at the time. It could be Cubase, Audition, now it could be Studio One, just some audio editing software, record it into it, maybe do a couple of adjustments and then save it. I mean, those are not like special tips. So if anyone has a special wave, there's like if anyone has found like the perfect way for them to convert the vinyl to digital, drop it in the chat. And Jada Reela says the Artiphon Mark II Concord are very nice to use, great sound, but I'm looking for some Artiphon S120s. Yeah, most of my S120s are dead by now. I use them for a long time, but I like I worn them out totally. Hey, ARM TV was good. Oh, okay. So ARM TV says to my fellow DJs, protect yourselves, especially those that are back on the scene. I'm on my 8th day recovering right now from COVID. The body pains are no joke. So look, I'm glad to hear that you are okay. So I assume that you are hopefully at home. You're recovering. And I mean, I've heard a lot of stories from different people. And I mean, for some, the recovery was quite fast. But I've also talked to a fellow DJ here in Amsterdam who's a couple of years younger than I. And I think he's like 6 months. He had it like 6 months ago. And he still has to go to like physical therapy like twice a week to recover. So some people have like long lasting problems. And like I said, like younger than I am, so not like a very old person. And I do see like here in Amsterdam, for instance, our government decided to basically fully open up. So we weren't in lockdown anymore. That was already like months ago. But a couple of weeks ago, they decided like to lift basically all restrictions. And yeah, that was viewed differently by different people, especially because we heard about the Delta variant coming, or was already here, but it started to spread more. But clubs open up all the way, and all people had to do is like show like proof that they had been tested. So a lot of young people would like get tested, but as was expected, a lot of people also found ways around that, and yeah. A lot of people got infected again. And you could also tell, like, I saw shots from clubs, everything fully packed. I mean, I'm kind of staying away from that from now. We luckily did have one gig this Sunday, but that was like an outside gig in like a legendary park in Amsterdam called the Vondelpark. But that was like an outside gig with just like a seated section for people. So the crowd sat and they had like the distance built in by the way they set up the chairs. So luckily we got the chance to do a gig. But basically beyond that, like all of the major festivals have been shut down again because of the rising cases. Because as soon as you lift restrictions, people go all out and not everyone is being safe. So yes, DJs, please protect yourself. I mean, I know we all want to do gigs again, but try to stay safe, y'all. And Bushnik, yeah, so any hope for such events become being popular anytime? So like I said, it all depends on deep pockets. I'm going to give you an example that kind of fits the narrative. There's a club here in Amsterdam called Paradiso. It's like a world famous venue. Years ago, they started with a new party called Paradisco. And the name says it. Sonntag. The name says it. Disco. They play disco. Now, the Paradiso was subsidized. So that allowed them to take more chances. Now, I might be a little bit not out of pocket, but I don't know the inside workings, but I know they were subsidized, meaning that you do have a little bit deeper pockets. It's not coming out of your own pocket in that sense. When Paradisco started, and I know a lot of DJs that used to play there, if I'm not mistaken, like the first 3 or maybe 6 months, it wasn't really popping yet. Normally, like a lot of venues, if you're talking to an owner and it's coming out of the owner's pocket, if you have it for like a month and it's not working, trust you and me, they're going to look for another way to have their club full. Now, in this situation, Paradisco could just continue on. And after like the 6 whatever months, it started to grow. And I remember that was like one of the most popular parties for like a really popular party for years. Like you would have a row around the corner, but that took time. And a lot of times, if there's not such a thing as like a subsidized club or someone, an owner with extremely deep pockets, then that's not going to happen. And I've been in plenty of situations where a club was giving me a chance, but after like a couple of editions, they were like, yeah, this is not really working, because I decided I wanted to try like to do like a hip hop event, because people were all complaining that there weren't any hip hop events. But then when someone organizes an hip hop event, they don't show up. So after a couple of times, owners are like, yeah, it's not working, because they want to see a full venue. They want to have the bar sales. So yeah, I'm going to try and catch up, but I do actually want to cut this stream in not too long. So I'm going to do my best to catch up and get everything that's in here right now. Okay. I was thinking about getting a second DJ setup that's more portable. I'm looking at the Gemini Sound MDJ 900 MIDI controller, mixer, turntable, and the Gemini Sound PMX10 2-channel. Thoughts? I honestly have never heard of the equipment or seen or used it, so maybe someone in the chat, but I have no idea. We got Lady Bren with the follow. Appreciate you. And Costa Rica, what's going on? What's going on? Okay, so Jay the Realist says the best way to set your cue points before any set is creating a playlist. But overall, with time and practice, I just set my cue points on the fly too. Yeah, I mean, I normally just don't have the time for it. Let's see. Dason says the best place to get your music from. You have a ton of options. You have DJ pools. You have online music stores. If you're looking for digital music. So a DJ pool would be a great place to start. It all depends on what type of music you're looking for. But you have a ton of options online, or like online music stores like BeatSource, for instance. DJ JLA, what's going on? DJ Bless, what's good? When mixing in and out of songs, how do you determine whether you're going to drop on the one or beat match? Jason, for me, it's pretty easy. It all depends on the beginning of the song. So like I said, if I have a song and the beginning has like a dope intro that I feel I just want to hear that intro by itself, I already know I'm going to not mix it. I'm going to drop it on the one. If I'm dealing with a BPM change, that's a little bit larger than like 1-2%, but it's like I'm playing a 95 BPM track. I'm going to go to either like an 85 or maybe 105, like something that's really slower or faster. Then I'm not going to do a transition. I'll just drop it. But all of that comes on the fly. When I'm grabbing the track and listening to it, I'm like, okay, if it's like easy to blend it, so if the BPM is in the right range, most likely I'm going to mix. But if I'm in a flow and it's like I'm playing tracks faster, I'm paying less attention to transitions, like mixed transitions. I'm going more into like dropping it on the one. JB says, would you consider doing a Biz Marquee tribute on vinyl? No. The reason being, I don't have enough Bismarck vinyl. Rest in peace to Biz Marquee, by the way, for sure. I played Biz last Monday, so not this Monday, but last week during the vinyl edition. I remember saying like while I was playing the track or right after that, because I hadn't heard anything in a long time. Like, yeah, man, I wish Biz a speedy recovery, or I said something like that. It was like a day or two after that we got the news. So yeah, that's pretty sad. But I know I don't have a lot of Biz vinyl, not enough. On a totally different subject, and then I really have to catch up. Major shout out and congratulations to the Milwaukee Bucks for winning the NBA championship. Well deserved, by the way. I said a couple of weeks ago that I would like CP3 to win a championship, because I believe this was his best opportunity, being 36 years old, 16 years in the league or something like that. Like, chances are he's not going to have another shot at this unless he joins like a certain team. But yeah, Giannis and the Bucks, they deserve this. Like that was beautiful to see. Like it's been 50 years since they won a championship, and then for Giannis to seal the deal with a 50-point game, that was monster. Um, all right, let me catch up real quick. And Jay the Realer says the best slip mats to use for your turntables. I have no idea. I've used all sorts of slip mats from different brands, and most of the times it wasn't even like the slip mat brand. It was like a clothing brand that would have like a slip mat set, and I would use that, and I would have one from a music label, and then I would have some Technic slip mats. As long as they're not too thick, I'm basically fine with it. But I never had any specific one that made me say like, hey, this is the one for me. Inimano, Utara in the house, salute to you. And Jules, let's see, I DJ regularly. I have a residency in a chic cocktail bar where I play 5-hour sets weekly. I notice when I have to play 1-hour sets for streams or parties, I get sort of stage fright because I want to do everything on point without mistakes. I only have 1 hour. That makes me freak out a bit, especially when the circumstances are off, like too much sun on the CDJs or bad sound settings, etc. How do you keep cool when the stakes are high? All right, so why are the stakes that high? Why do you feel that you have to do everything in that hour? Like, if you can do 5-hour sets every week, then a 1 hour set shouldn't be an issue. Now, what you play during that hour kind of depends on at what time you're playing. Now, for instance, you said 1 hour sets for streams or parties. If it's a stream, in my opinion, the stakes aren't even that high, but that's me. Not as if you want to do a bad set, but I don't see that the stakes are higher during a stream compared to playing for a real live audience. I think you need to get out of your head that you don't want to make mistakes. And what is frightening you about making mistakes? Is it judgment from the people? Because I can tell you right now, a lot of people in the crowd are not noticing most of the mistakes that we as DJs would notice. So don't let that freak you out. Beyond that, like too much sun on the CDJs, yeah, that's something that hopefully can be prevented by being there on time and making sure the setup is right. Bad sound settings, yeah, I don't know. It's a hard one for me to answer beyond that, I have to say. Like, you DJ regularly, so you know how to DJ. If you can play 5-hour sets and you know how to DJ and you do it all the times, I wouldn't all of a sudden, I think you're putting too much pressure on a 1 hour set being something really special. It's just a set. It's only shorter. But a lot of DJs feel that 1 hour means that they have to showcase everything or make it the most banging set. And I see a lot of DJs do that. When they do their 1 hour sets, they're all playing the same list of hits because they want to play the most banging tracks for the crowd. And then you get like 3 DJs playing basically the same type of thing, which is lame. Or they want to do too much and they start to play like tracks for 20 seconds because they feel they have to do everything in that 1 hour, as if that's going to prove that they're a better DJ or that they can rock the crowd better. When it doesn't really work that way. So focus on if that 1 hour set is prime time, then you play a prime time set with more energy. If you're playing 1 hour and it's more of a warm up set, then you play more of the warm up style. So yeah, in that 1 hour, you're not going to get to the prime time stuff because you're not playing prime time. So I don't know. I personally don't have that issue, but I mean, you have to find out what is the source for you that you're freaking out. What is it that frightens you most? And in most cases, you're scared of something you don't need to be scared about. What's the best DJ software to use? No answer for that. And I mean that. Algorithm DJ is great. Tractor is great. Rekordbox is great. Virtual DJ is great. Serato is great. They're all great. They're all a little bit different. That's it. Some software works out of the box, will work with more different controllers. Some will like the UI of one more than the other. Some want a lot of options. Some want to keep it more basic. Each of those have their own have um, their own pros and cons, but they're all good. So I could say I think this is the best, but that's because it's probably going to fit my needs best. Doesn't make it the best software. Someone else is going to say, no, 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 this is the best because it does this and that and that. And they're going to name a couple of arguments that are not important to me because I don't use that. So there's no best. Gus Gomez says the same thing. Like he says, in his opinion, best software is Rekordbox DJ, but the most popular and most common is Serato. I use both. And he already says it's in his opinion because Rekordbox probably fits his needs best. Some people are going to tell you like Tractor is the way to go, but it's because it fits their needs best. That's not being political. That's just the truth. Like, there's no way for me to say like, hey, Rekordbox is not good software, or Serato is not good software. No, they all work well. So a lot of them have a free version. You should try to download those and just see how it feels. Which one feels like the most intuitive to you when you just have it on screen? You're like, I understand what I'm seeing. This feels right. Some might feel a little bit overwhelming. That is something you need to try out for yourself. And Jay the Realist, when I come to DC, I will definitely give you a shout. Let's see. Technical question from Michelle. Mixing in a song with a chirp scratch. Do you have the bass at 12 o'clock on both decks going over? So a lot of times, like if I'm doing a scratch to mix into a song, I will have the bass set to 12 o'clock. If I'm scratching over an instrumental, or even if I have one track playing and I have the next track ready, but I'm doing scratches with it, sometimes I might take some of the low end out because it's a little bit, it might become a little bit too much if the bass is just in there, 12 o'clock. But if I'm going to scratch it to bring it in, and I want to bring it in with the bass on, then I'll have it set to 12 o'clock. Now, if I'm going to do a mixed transition and I'm scratching with the new track before my transition, I might want to start my transition with less low end. In that case, I'll have my bass set maybe to 9 o'clock or all the way out. Scratch it in without the bass. Start the transition that way. And then during the transition, make that switch, add more bass, take bass out of the other one. So it all depends on how I'm going to do my transition. But if I'm like scratching to bring it in on the 1 and just drop it on the 1, then I'm going to have the bass to 12 o'clock on both. So I hope you understand what I'm saying there. DJ Arch in the building. Salute to you. The Mid, Evil Olive, and Crocodile all shut down. So I have to assume those are clubs you used to play at, right? Because that is an issue I've ran into in the past as well. I used to have like residencies and then the clubs close for one or another reason. And sometimes those people then don't have like new spots and then you lose connections. So that is one thing that does happen. I've had it happen on several occasions. Like one just went out of business. Another one, there was a great club we used to play at, but they had some issues because of like a couple of incidents, like a couple of fights. But then they had like a shooting incident in front of the club. Now the mayor, that wasn't in Amsterdam, different town in the Netherlands, but the mayor in that town at that time decided to say that shooting happened while there was an urban event, hip hop R&B. Let's be honest, they had black folks there. Mind you, in that town, like 75 to 80% was probably white of the people that we had in there. But anyways, that was the type of music that was being played. And that mayor linked a shooting incident that happened outside of the club to the music that was being played inside. So the mayor decided to basically ban those type of parties. Now, the club made most of their income from those parties. So those owners just decided to call it a day. they sold the club. So we had a great spot in a town, and then all of a sudden you lose the spot and the connect because they I don't know what they decided to do, but they did not have a club anymore. So I've been in those situations. That's yeah, that's a rough one. So then it might mean that you'll have to start networking with the people from venues where you didn't play before, so that they now know you as well. If they don't know you, you're not going to get bookings anyway. And residencies are even further down the line. So it's back to networking, introducing yourself. Shannon Lewis was good. My NS7 has a fader issue where one side isn't turned off fully. Okay, so it's basically leaking. Can the original fader be repaired? Ooh, I don't know about fader repairs. Most likely you'll just have to get a new fader if they still sell those for an NS7. Otherwise, I do believe that Innofader has a fader for the NS7. But yeah, like if you have it all the way to one side and it's not fully off, then your fader is leaking. It's still giving you audio when you shouldn't hear audio. Sometimes it's a basic cleaning operation that can help that though. So maybe that's a start. Like try to open it up and clean it out. Or you would need a new fader. So if you can't get the original fader or a new fader, replacement fader, I think you should look at Innofader. I believe they have a fader that will fit the NS7. Is there any usable DJ software for MacBook Pro M1 that you recommend? I think most of them now work with the M1. But Mixmaster G says that Algorithm DJ is the only one that runs native on M1. Okay, but the rest also works on the M1, right? As far as I know. But anyways, Algorithm DJ runs natively on the M1. And Bushnik says, any hope for the DJ music scene moving away from events promoting and focused on selling alcohol instead of music being the focus? I mean, I just, to be honest, like we've been talking about this for a while. I have to say, I don't know if that's totally true. So maybe that's happening a lot in your area, but I don't believe that's the case everywhere. Like, it's not like events are being promoted to sell alcohol everywhere. So I believe that you do have plenty of places around the world where you do have organizations that really focus on the music. It does happen, especially for like certain festivals and whatever. Now, of course, they'll get sponsors, and a lot of times alcohol brands will be involved in one way or the other. But I'm just not sure if the music scene is all about promoting events focused on selling alcohol instead of music being the focus. But it's always going to be a part of it because at the end of the day, they have to make their money. Can you map a mixer to be used for any software? Well, not any mixer. If the mixer has MIDI capabilities, then most likely you can map it to a lot of software. I mean, it can work. I prefer a lot of times to have a mixer that's actually just really made for the software that I prefer to use. But the answers for that can be found. Like once you find which mixer you want to use or the mixer you have, you can find out if you can map it for whichever software you decide to use. Doing open format corporate gigs, how often do you find yourself doing songs that work after each other and finding yourself doing the same thing at the next gig and the next it gets boring? And how do you stay away from going there too often? I mean, there's always that danger of the autopilot, the internal autopilot. I've seen so many DJs do it. I've done it myself to a certain degree, where you're playing at a gig and you know what type of gig it is. So I don't do a lot of corporate gigs, but like you're playing at a certain event, you know the type of crowd is there. So you already know, like, okay, if I break out this song, that's going to work. And then you play those songs. I mean, I've done that. But if you have like 3 or 4 gigs that weekend and they're all the same type of gigs, so you're bringing out that same music all the time, it gets boring. So how do you stay away from that? Like just dig a little deeper in your crates, I would say, first off. I mean, a lot of times DJs tend to go to the same couple of songs when there's so many other songs that will also work for that crowd because there's so much music out there. And let's be honest, it's not like you're playing for people that only know 30 songs. They know a bunch of music as well. So it's all about having enough in the crates. And otherwise, you have to start also working with like remixes for certain songs so that you can play the normal version at one gig, the remix at the other gig. Um, Sven is in here. Without scratching, I wouldn't have fun. Yeah, I mean, that's the main reason why I like scratching because it is fun. I don't do it for the audience. That's the thing. It's cool if they like it, but I'm doing it because I like to add turntablism to my sets. All right, Costa Rica says Twitch might be a little iffy today. During his stream, one person had a freeze on them, and the mod lost one of the labels, but it did come back. Yeah. I mean, sometimes that might be the case indeed. Jared, what's going on? And DJ End, salute to you. Shout out to DJ End. Jared says, where do you get some DJ gear? At an audio store. Mulberry says, vinyl to digital, don't do it. Why? And from vinyl to digital, best advice, see if you can find the tracks on CD, which is a much more reliable conversion to digital. Yeah. I mean, I've done that as well when I needed certain tracks, but let's be honest. If you want to have the vinyl sound and you want that vinyl track, then you need to just use the vinyl track. But if it's just the case that you have a collection on vinyl and you just want to have those songs digitally, then it might be easier to find it on CD. Yeah. But beyond that, I mean, I don't see it as tricky, to be honest. Like homemade digitizing, even with Top Gear, is always tricky. I wouldn't see what would be the really tricky part of it. Only if you get really technical and you want to have it to be the exact same quality as the vinyl. But I mean, I've played vinyl rips that were made super easy and they sound great. Dalsang, what's good? Just joining now, not sure what I've missed. You've missed a lot. That was 25 minutes ago, so I haven't seen your comment until now. Yeah, we're here every Wednesday just talking about DJing. All sorts of things, techniques, controllers, just tech, business, whatever comes to mind. Damon Chicago, salute to you. Yeah, Reaper, I feel you. Fully vaccinated, still wear a mask indoors and in crowds until there are no cases. Yeah, I mean, I don't go to places with too many crowds, so I don't really have to worry about that. But I understand. That meme guy, what's going on? And Reactor, salute to you. So Mixmaster G, I mean, they're mildly subsidized now. I thought it used to be more than now, but I'm not totally sure about that. But indeed, like you said, like they don't need to make a profit. That allows you to take those chances. Like either you have to have really deep pockets or you have to be in a situation like they are. And that's how they could do certain events like for 6 months before it started to grow. And a normal club owner will not give you that time. Hey, Sam Abdallah was good. The 1000 SRT or the Rain 1. I see a lot of people do that. I still don't understand that comparison, to be honest. One is a controller with jog wheels. The other one is a controller with motorized platters. To me, those are in a different stratosphere. So I see a lot of people do that. Like they compare those two, like a 1000 and a Rain 1. I kind of don't see the use in that. Like for me, there's no comparison. Like if you're asking me to choose like one of my favorite like controllers with jog wheels, the 1000 Actually, the regular one, not even the SRT, but the 1000 is the one I really liked. If I had to choose between these two, that's a no-brainer for me. Even though I have not once touched the Rain 1, I know I would pick the Rain 1 because of the motorized platter. That will always, always be my first choice. Also, what do you know about Record Cloud for making tags to your tracks and using smart crates so Serato automatically organizes it? I haven't used Record Cloud yet. I've heard someone talk about it. I still need to look into that. So Vinyl Touch says, agreed, needle quality, turntable, wow and flutter by itself introduces variations in the digitized sound. Yeah, but that kind of also adds that little touch of what vinyl is, right? So I understand what you guys are talking about. Like, it's not the same way that you can have like the steady quality that you can get if you go CD and you rip that. But I mean, to be honest, if I have a vinyl rip, I will want you to be able to hear that it's a vinyl rip. So it shouldn't sound the same as a CD because vinyl doesn't sound the same as CD. So a lot of times when I have vinyl rips, you're going to hear it because you're also going to hear a little crackle in there. And I prefer that because that actually makes it sound more like the vinyl track. But I understand what you guys are talking about. Damien Chicago says the Bucks wanted more for sure. Yep. And Large Family says, you up for doing a mix collab on Twitch? Let me know what type of mix collab you're talking about. So just holla at your boy, TLM at DJTLM.com. Gio says 1 hour is banger time. I love 30 minutes of 1 hour sets. Go for it. That depends. Because if you're booked to play 1 hour and it's early, then it's not a banger set. Then it's warm-up time. And that's like something I've seen a lot of DJs do. They're playing early, but they have 1 hour and they start to bang out when it's not time for that yet. That's not where the energy should be at that time. So I've done like 1 hour sets at large events where they had like 12 DJs and I was one of the earlier DJs to play. I didn't bring any bangers. That's not what I came to do. That was not my time yet. I played like one great, I'll say it myself, but it was true, like one great warm-up set. Had people vibing. After me, I heard 5 DJs all come out with bangers playing basically the exact same tracks. That was pretty horrible. And after the third DJ, I could even see like the crowd was not reacting the way you wanted them to react. And the DJ didn't understand, but I did because the crowd had just heard those same tracks 3 times already. They didn't hear the tracks I was playing before because I was playing like warm-up vibe. So it depends on the time. But Jules, you got to get that pressure out your head, yo. Costa Rica says, my wife tells me constantly to get out of my head. I put pressure on myself. She said, just like you did, most people wouldn't even notice the mistakes. Yeah, it's true, y'all. As DJs, we hear and see things differently. If you hear another DJ play, you're going to hear the little subtle mistakes, the little bloopers, you name it. The crowd doesn't hear it. I mean, I've been to so many clubs and I can hear what the next track is because I'm hearing the start of the transition. I'm there with like 8 people. They don't hear it. They only hear it once the transition is done and the new track comes in. That's a different ear that we have. So we think that way and we think everyone hears that, but the rest of the people, they don't hear that. They're not going to hear the little mistakes like that. Archie Flex, what's going on? Live streaming software that I'm using, visuals are on point. This is just OBS. So I'm in OBS and this is not my normal setup. I'm not in my studio, I'm in the house. So the camera that I'm using right now is just the webcam built into this laptop that I'm on. This is an old Surface Book 1. And I have like my normal, this is like one of the normal visuals, like overlays that I have that was made in Photoshop. So I have that stored in my Creative Cloud so I can just reach that from any laptop, from any computer. So I just quickly just grabbed an image, took that webcam. I have the USB mic at home for situations like this. And that's basically all I need. And the chat that you see on screen, that's just from Restream. and I'm using that as a browser overlay. So you just copy the link from Restream and then have the browser overlay. So OBS, and I'm on a laptop, but I have like a USB to Ethernet adapter. So I'm on a wired connection because I tried to do this on Wi-Fi a couple of times, and that was a terrible mistake. Let me see. Jules says, I feel like it feels like my longer sets in a familiar setting are more forgiving and mistakes are better or easier to fix. Yeah, but I think that is still mostly in your head because you feel like it's only 1 hour. So, like I understand, like if you make a mistake or two mistakes in a 5 hour set compared to making a mistake in a 1 hour set, that might feel like a larger percentage of the set wasn't perfect, but you shouldn't be aiming at perfect sets anyway. That's putting the wrong type of pressure on yourself. Let's see. Let's see. Damn, I just saw something. I don't know. I think I missed one. Damn. Daily was good. What are hype things you can say as an MC? Depends on what your definition of hype is. Like to me, like I MC when I DJ, but I try to keep it to a minimum. Basically, I might have a couple of points where I feel like if I'm gonna play a track that's for a certain part of the crowd, maybe I'll call them out like, yo, where are all my whatever? Where are all the ladies at? Ladies, make some noise right now, and then bring the track in. Or if I have a track, let's say I'm at the next party, I'm gonna play some Biz Marquee, and Biz just passed away. I might stop the music. Yo, right now, I want all of y'all to put a hand in the air for Biz Marquee. Let me hear you make some noise right now, and then start the track. So I try to do stuff that actually makes sense. Sometimes you'll have MCs that are just screaming over every track while I'm playing, and I'll be quick to like let them know, like, you know what, I'll do the rest of the set. But it depends on what you are like. Like I've seen DJs who stream, for instance, and they're constantly yelling through that mic, and it fits their energy. That's the way they play, and it's not even like they're saying crazy hype things, but they just have an energy because they are hype that will come across. Like if I'm talking calmly, everything I say, doesn't matter which words I'm going to use now, they're going to sound calm. But if I'm playing right now, I'm in this type of energy, and my voice, you get a different energy in your voice when you're hype, and then everything sounds a little bit hyper. But I don't have like specific things to say. Like a lot of people will just go to the make some noise or put your hands up. But yeah, I keep a lot of the things I do basic, y'all. When it comes to my effects, I keep it basic. When it comes to my emceeing, I keep it pretty basic as well. Hazard's ones, what up? Hazard ones, that is. Currently using a tractor controller. Wanted to upgrade to a Serato turntable setup. The Serato have MIDI mapping abilities. Looking at a basic 2-channel mixer. Using my machine for cue points. That can work. Like personally, are you going to place machine in front of your setup then or next to it? Like maybe that works for you. I personally would not like to have a device. Like I would not like to have a machine next to my set and to have to reach over there to trigger my cue points. That's what I love about having the cue points as pads on a mixer in the middle. Or even if I'm using the RP 8000 Mark II turntables, have it on the turntables. And before that, I have my Novation dicers that I would have on the decks. So I have it here instead of having to go there. And I mean, I remember the time when I had to use the cue points by triggering the laptop, and I would have like stickers on my keyboard to know which key I had to press. But I mean, it could work. Yeah. Ready Mix DMT, salute, I see you. So normally I'm streaming on Monday and on Wednesday. Monday is my mix stream and Wednesday is the Q&A. That's the normal schedule for now. And Mulberry, I feel you. Like it is very time consuming to go vinyl to digital for sure. And also, what's your preference between Rain mixers versus Pioneer, sound output, etc.? I'm a Pioneer fan when it comes to that. Like I have the Rain 72, really like that mixer, but I'm I'm just a major fan of the onboard effects on the Pioneer mixers. I'm used to those, love using those. So as far as that goes, my pick is Pioneer, but you can't go wrong. Like anytime I use my Rain 72, it's a joy as well. That's for sure. Like I love playing with it. I love the feel of it. But if I had to make a pick, for me, it would be Pioneer because I like their onboard effects better. I'm more used to them. So that's not even judging like sound output and quality. I would have to do like an actual comparison to see which one would be better according to the numbers. But just going off feel, it's Pioneer for me. And I appreciate that follow, Ready Mix. Skillmonger was good. Tyshawn Jones says, any advice for DJs that struggle with rhythm? Ooh. That's a good question. That's a good question. I don't know. I haven't been in that situation. I have no idea how that will feel. Like that's something I guess luckily I've always kind of had like a feel for rhythm. And when I was 14, I used to drum. So I was drumming before I started DJing. So I had that rhythm feel. I'm sorry, I actually don't know because I guess you can teach rhythm, but rhythm is also like a feel. Like if music is playing, you should be able to move your head according to the beat or tap your foot according to the beat. And if you can feel that beat, that means that you have a basic understanding of the rhythm. But yeah, that's a good one though. Quickly, Mixcloud. I keep neglecting Mixcloud. I'm sorry, DJ Knowledge. Salute to you. And he said, Knowledge says slipmat depends on your own preference. Some like thick, some like thin. Yeah, 1000%. And Ike B says, since I got the Denon Prime 4, I don't use any of the DJ software anymore, and no laptop. Yeah, I mean, there is something to be said about having a standalone device where you don't need to focus on other equipment. That being said, I do just like a large screen as an overview. But then again, some of the standalone players they've developed over the years, and some of them just have like screens that actually give you like a nice amount of real estate to see what's going on. But I feel you. Knowledge says scratching helps to break up the monotony. Yes, true. And DJ Noose on Mixcloud says my Rain 1 records vinyl, but the sound quality is not as good as just using a preamp to record, for your information. Yep. And DJ Knowledge just wants y'all to know that he's a DJ nerd and loves it. All right. Now, Twitch says that the connection is excellent now. Okay. That's good. That's good to me. I'm fine with that. All right. I said I wanted to stop real quick. That's not working again. Let me just scroll. How far are we? Okay, I'm almost there. Charlie Bucks, Adbreda, salute. And G Washington, hopefully I get to try it out tomorrow or on Friday. So next week during the stream, I should have a little bit of experience when it comes to the Rain 1, finally. And then we have Pasta Girl. And Pasta Girl says, where can one get old music with long intros and outros from the 90s and 80s? Record pools usually don't have so many. Some do, but it has vocals at the beginning. Yeah, like DJ pools are not supposed to have a lot of the old stuff. And if they do, it's not totally legit. So I should have some news on that soon. Like all I can tell you now is like Beat Source and using Beat Source link in your DJ software will give you access to more old music. And I think they're working on some more edits for like old stuff as well. So right now, I don't think you're going to find a lot of intro outros for like old songs, but like 90s, maybe 80s. I'm not sure, but I think Beat Source is the one you should keep an eye on. Road Dog, salute to you. And G Washington says, I've taken your scratch course, but when it comes to time to incorporate the scratches on my set, I freeze. So I guess you're talking about my scratch tutorials on YouTube. So when you want to incorporate them into your set, you freeze. Why does that happen though? So is it like hesitation because you're afraid that you're not going to do it right? That's what I would like to know. What's the reason? Because if you're just practicing your scratches and you're scratching on beats, is it going well? Are you able to scratch on beat? Because if that works, then it should also work in sets. And then it's not the technical ability that's holding you back. It's most likely something mental. It's like maybe pressure that you're feeling or something like that. And again, if that's the case, I would say don't be afraid to make mistakes. First off, if you're going to do it during sets, start with the basics. Just start with some babies. So don't go into trying to do too much, but just start to add that little zigga zigga in there. Just that as a starter. And once you feel comfortable doing that in your sets, then you can try to do some more. Don't go out and start by actually building in like a scratch showcase into your set. Start with like little basics. Like I said, start with a little baby and take it up from there. That would be my best advice, I think. Das Hog, salute to you. Good to see you again. And generally, good DJs are their own biggest critics, Ready Mix says. And yeah, I mean, that's the thing. We hear a lot more than other people. And Queen Caesar is absolutely correct, but a train wreck is really a wreck. Yes. So that's the thing. The train wreck, that's what the audience will notice as well. And when it comes to like a train wreck, I've seen people in there and they try to recover. And when that doesn't work, then it really turns into that disastrous mix. I've had it happen that something just went wrong, and I think at that point the best decision is to just totally take out one of the tracks. So either if I'm doing a mix, and I did a mix and something went wrong, so it was just totally like we were heading towards that total train wreck, like the snares were totally apart. I just took it out straight away, tried it again. Or you just take the old track out and bring that new one in. So then your transition was like, it wasn't clean, but as long as that new track is playing, the crowd is, even if they heard something for a second, now their focus is going to be on the next track. But if you have two tracks playing together and they're totally off and you keep it going for a while, then the crowd is going to be like, oh, they can't continue to dance because the rhythm is gone. That's an actual situation. But to be honest, even if that happens, even with a train wreck, if the next track you play is a track they like, they're not worried about it anymore. And neither should you. DJ Six says that Twitch DJs that talk over every song are actually annoying in my opinion. I hear you. Yep. And I mean, I even try to find a good balance when it comes to like interaction with the crowd. Like I'm interacting with the chat, but I want to make sure that I'm not talking too much over every song. So I try to find the right points to do it. But I've played in spots where you're playing with MCs and they're just MCing over like the lyrics and everything. I'm like, yo, no. That's not the right point. Like find your points where you do your little thing, but not everywhere throughout the entire thing. G Washington says the onboard effects sound that much better than Serato. Yeah, and I don't even know sound quality wise, but I just prefer the onboard effects. And Mixed Master G says onboard of what mixer? The ones on the DJ 900 Nexus 2, V10, S11, they're better than Serato. You can add a lot more to that. You can add S9, S7, my 909, you name it. I prefer just the way they work. So I'm not even talking about like the sound quality. I just found to have more control and more ease of use when I'm using the ones on the mixer instead of using the ones inside the DJ software. Tractor built-in effects are even a notch better. So yeah, that's possible. But I mean, you're not using Tractor when you're using the Rain or Pioneer mixes in most cases. So different situation, I guess. So yeah, for me, it's all about the ease of use. I just prefer the way it works on the Pioneer mixers. Oh, there it is. R Walk Last says, trying to master vinyl. Have any thoughts on beginner vinyls, like for beat juggling? Beginner vinyls for beat juggling. Like you can use any vinyl for that. So no, I don't have any thoughts about vinyl specifically for beginners. I just practice with whatever records I had. And if you want to start to do some beat juggling, you're going to need doubles. So whatever records you have double, you can use to try and practice beat juggling. Vinyl Touch says the answer is extended mix. So I think you're talking about intros and outros probably for the 80s and 90s, but extended mix is videos, right? Shout out DJ Kiss, salute to you. Oh, Tyshawn Jones says, I'm trying to teach my son, but he has no rhythm. How old is your son? And Mixmaster G has a good point. Like learn, you got to teach him how to count music before you're even thinking about learning, teaching him how to mix. So yeah, it depends. I mean, you might have to communicate it differently to a child, but then in case, how old is the child? And in some cases, like you can see, like with younger kids, you can see like they're totally not understanding or feeling the rhythm yet. So even without counting music, you can just tell like music is playing and their movements to the music already show you like they don't really understand rhythm yet. Then again, you got kids. Like I remember seeing my kids when they were young and music was playing. Like if you see a young kid and you can see like you see that little bop to the music on beat, that's not taught. That's natural. So they feel that rhythm. Yeah. Vinyl Touch says Twitch honestly is about interaction more than precision. You could probably laugh it off in Twitch and talk about it. I do that sometimes. Like when I'm streaming on Twitch and I make a mistake, I would actually like mention it sometimes. Like I would never do that in like a live gig. Like tell them, oh, oops, I started on the wrong count or whatever. During a stream, I do that. But interaction is important on Twitch or just with streams for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Vinyl Touch. Yeah, for sure. Like you could get extended mix, get the video versions, and then play it vinyl only for sure. And a suggestion for websites for buying vinyl. Good question, chat. That's going to be probably the last question. So drop it in the chat if you have an answer. Is there a good suggestion for where people should buy vinyl online? Drop that in the chat, and then I'm going to call it a day because it's kind of late. And like I said, I was at home and I got a ton of work to do. Next week we'll be back to our normal schedule, and on Monday I have an all vinyl stream that I'm looking forward to. That's going to be a lot of fun and getting another chance to rock the G-Code needles. So yes, looking forward to that indeed. So the answer right now is Discogs for vinyl, and yeah, that's going to be it. I got to be out. I want to just send my appreciation to all of you. So for all the people on Mixcloud, for all the people on LinkedIn, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, wherever you're watching from, I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate you sharing your knowledge in the chat. And I'll be back here on Monday with Crates, the all vinyl edition. So make sure you tune in for that. Now, I'm not going to have my stream ending overlays or any of that stuff because I'm not on that computer right now. So I'm not even going to attempt to make this look any more flashy. And secondhand stores are also a great place to find some quality vinyl. So that might be easier than online, and you don't have to deal with like shipping and you name it. So to all of you in the chat, much love to y'all. Yeah, we'll get back into rating and stuff like that next week as well. For now, we're just gonna jump out. Oh no, my people on Twitch, we can let's move on to Cleveland Terry. So for the people on Twitch, we're gonna just tune in to see what Cleveland Terry is talking about right now, and I'll be back here on Monday. Let's do that. Let's do that. So all my Twitch people, let's join me when we go check out Cleveland Terry. Make sure you join in. And the rest of y'all, I'll see you soon. Cleveland Terry, as normal, you should be talking about DJing. So let's quickly tune into that. And one last time, thank y'all. Appreciate the support. And talk to y'all soon. Peace.